Ito wala yan. Hindi na ulit na ba? Hindi na tigil ito. So, tinira pa ko rin na. Dito wala.
Yung ending mo, yung directed, tapos net ba? Nagawa mo yun? Yung ending mo, review mo nga yun. Ilan mo nga? Bakit kung talagang mo pa yung ending mo? Hindi pa na rin mo? Hindi ba ito gumawa yun? Pagtutuloy mo na kasi yung directed by, tapos yan, it's for watching. Pagtutuloy mo na. Hindi na. Eh, dinirect naman sa... Kaya nga sa sunod, i-edit mo na yun. Gumawa ka ng dating ako, dating nangyari. Para nagpag-nagpag. Hindi na naman 1.7.
Wala palang live chat na lumalabas dito.
Ha?
Wala palang live chat na lumalabas dito.
Pero na, kikita mo naman. Like,
Hindi dito sa...
live chat yan.
Dito sa ano?
Ha?
Sa screen.
Pasok mo yun sa akin, i-edit ko sa akin.
Sa screen? Hindi, dito na yun.
Sa cellphone.
Sa... Yan, bang live chat na yun.
Sa cellphone wala.
Ha?
Sa cellphone, ay sa ano?
Screen?
Oo.
Doon ka sa tingtingin. So, ito. Oo. Hindi, kung ganina may nag-chat. Sa gilid, yung gilid ko lang. Dito. Ito. Galang. Baba mo. Ganda na. Ganda na. Ayan.
Gagaling na yun.
Dito lang talaga. Hindi naman si Tatay Da. Isip pa rin. Ay papakulit. Sing ka pa papakulit.
Pero hindi na kita. Kailangan i-subod din. Huwag mo i-full screen. Huwag mo i-full screen. Yeah. Ano mo lang. Ito, i-zoom lang ito. Sunod. Ito ba? Itong bar na to. Gusto mo dun. Ito, sa baba. Yan. Yan. Nasa baba mo ngayon. Yan. Kita na yan. Kita mo na ba?
Hindi, ulo lang.
pag-ibig na mabilisan na. Quick na. Okay, okay na. Pero ano yung
Kaya, usap ko lang yung mga hindi yung trademark naman na
kasi mo na-edit na yun, dapat eh. Hindi ko kasi may
ay, yung kumain lahat.
Di ba sa cellphone ka naman nagbabasa ka ano? Yung chat. Sa cellphone ka naman nagbabasa ng chat ah.
Oo.
Di ba? Eh yung tablet mo, di ba?
Okay, pang ano lang. Nasa nilibig ko lang.
Eh, hindi ka na yung nagdagdaga ng ano? Dalawa na. Dalawa ng yung
Ganito ang ganito ba? Ganito ba yung dalawa-dalawa?
Kailangan pala, panibagong ano ulit.
Ngayon wala.
Hindi pa.
ay yung pagpabuhay ng ano eh. Yung pag... Ay yung pagpabuhay kaya sa patay ng patay eh. Yung pag...
Pag gusto mo, utuloy na natin doon. I-director. Kasi dapat tuloy na natin eh. Kasunod sa flashlight yun eh. Yung sarap yun eh.
Ano yung uso ko dito? Lahat?
Uy, saan yung dyan?
Hindi na ako.
Malulig na.
Ito tunog na to. Ito. Yan, yung dito lahat.
Okay oh.
Sabi ko yan, tuloy natin yung pagpupas pasig.
Yan naman oh.
Ito. Sama yung mga ganun dito.
Huwag na, ayun pa pinalang mo. Pinalang.
Pwede siguro panoorin dito yung ano no, tutorial.
Ha?
Tutorial.
Nakalive ka ba?
Oo.
Akin na lang.
Manunod ka?
Hindi yung sa akin.
Hindi siguro mga
Sabi mo, yung video mo. Transition.
Ha?
Ang yung video mo.
Akin na lang dito.
Hindi ba? Ito.
Doon sa OBS, ang galing mo yung video. Ha?
Ang galing niya?
Oo.
Okay.
Ang galing ng mga akin ko. Kaya nakalimutan.
Hindi makaka-copyright siguro yun no?
Ha?
Copyright.
Hindi ba? Wala yung live yun.
Ha?
Live.
Oo, ganun. Like ngayon. Pwede kaya yun?
Wala na. Dapat talaga ilagay na yung agad, no? Intro, no?
Kasi hindi ko na ito.
Umusog yan eh.
Patayin ko na to ah.
Ah.
Dapat talaga ilagay na yung agad, no? Intro, no?
Kasi hindi ko na ito.
Umusog yan eh.
Patayin ko na to ah.
Ah.
Dapat talaga ilagay na yung agad, no? Intro, no? Umusog yan na ngayon, no? Umusog yan eh.
Kaya patayin ko na to ah.
Ah.
Dapat talaga ilagay na yung agad, no?
Yun na yun.
Umusog yan na ngayon, no?
Kaya patayin ko na to ah.
Dapat talaga ilagay na yung agad, no?
Yun na yun.
Umusog yan na ngayon, no?
Kaya patayin ko na to ah.
Dapat
Lahat yun.
talaga pag magagawa yan.
Hindi naman pala naglalag dito.
Hindi sa akin to. Nagkakampatan. Baka kung magdapag yung video.
Wala naman pala talalag.
Hindi na nakakala.
Talalag dito.
Baka kung minsan pag nilagay yung...
Wala naman pala talalag.
Hindi na nakakala.
Talalag dito.
Baka kung minsan pag nilagay yung...
Wala naman pala talalag.
Hindi na nakakala.
Talalag dito.
Baka kung minsan pag nilagay yung...
Wala naman pala talalag.
Hindi na nakakala.
Okay. Hindi, ayos lang yun.
Hindi mo yan ako.
Kaya
Kaya
tumutunog,
nag-echo eh.
kaya tumutunog yan, naka-play dito.
Oo. Speaker niya tapos.
Ano siya?
Ayun pa rin.
Yung
Yung tagal lang, tulog ng mga bata. Nawa yan.
Parang text yun. Dami na.
Yan.
Oo.
Ano yan?
Parang sulat ko na.
Ay, ano yun? Nakailan pa.
Pag pinto, ikaw nagpipinto siya. Saan yung ba't ka pinalam? Alam ka naman siya.
Ikaw, pinda ko, diba? 3 months.
Kaso mag-aasa ka naman.
Ano ang gatas?
Gatas.
Gatas to. Christmas? Gatas mo.
Pwede ba pag nag-add ka ng ano, stream dito?
3-1 ba? 3-1?
Pag nag-add ka ng webcam ulit dito, hindi mo na makukuha yung ano lang.
Kung mag-aalis ka na mag-aalis naman yan. Window. Anong ginad mo?
Wait. Ano ulit?
Window? I-adjust mo nang i-adjust. Para hindi ko masatawan. Masatawan yung iba.
Nandito yung boses ko eh.
Ha?
I-undo mo na lang lahat, Dom. Tapos i-export mo na.
Balik ko sa para
Export mo na.
pag kahit na ano, kahit na
Oo.
Pwede ba yan? Sa bubong?
Dito mo lahat. Yung tanggalin mo na lahat yan. Undo ako.
Sa video?
Ha?
tagal na ko eh.
I-export mo na yung buong video.
Ang gagawin?
Hindi. Kung magpapalaman mo ano naman. Project.
Ang adjust lang yun, kung di na adjustment niya. Sa tulad ng sa akin kanina, kung di lang, sinusuko lang.
Ang dami mo kasi pinagagalaw eh. Dapat in-export mo na yun.
Yung ano nga, mali, yung dapat ilagay mo na pala yung intro.
Nandun na kasi nakaka-ready. Intro. Tapos yung ano.
Hindi nga, dapat na bago
Umpisa pa lang.
Tagal ko.
kung di busog lang yan. One.
Negative 1, negative 1 pala yun.
Yan, hindi na nandiyan sa
Kaya ko eh.
Ano yung buksan mo sa isa? Para saan yung isa?
Sa ibang ano, hindi pwede yan. Ibang Chrome, hindi pwede.
Mozilla. Magbukas ka ng Mozilla. Wala lang sila.
Muna.
Kung may ibang window. Ibang window. Ibang ano.
Ibang
Ito yung isang isang
Oo, ngayon, titinda rin yun.
Ay, hindi pa na okay yan. Okay. Okay.
Okay. Puro.
Ay, isang ano lang. Magbukas ka muna ng ano. Close mo yan. Close. This one. Oh. May dalawa pa rin.
Sabi yan yung part niya, no?
tagal na ito.
Ay, minus mo pala, maminus. Yan. Saka ka magbukas ng ano, isang Chrome. Bukas ka muna.
Panibagong Chrome.
Oo. Tapos saka ka mag-add ng window. Window. Para gusto mo magkaibang browser. Yan. Ngayon ka mag-add ng ano doon window. Plus window.
Yun lang.
Yan. Okay. Ayan lang. I-adjust mo na. Okay mo pa yan. Usog mo yan. Hindi na.
Ito ba yan talaga?
Tinagal mo na yung ano mo. Ay, yung doon pa. Yung gumagalaw. Nababasa ba yan?
Hindi alata.
Pag full screen. Yung kulay sa kulay yata.
Pag full screen ka.
Kung pinuti
Hindi ko alam na yung video para sa order na.
Oo.
mo. Puti mo na lang. Kasi itim ang background mo eh.
Ikita mo na.
Video yun. Ito? Internet mo, di ba?
Nakababa.
Ayan. Tingin mo na ito sa kusinin.
Nagaling natin yung tower. Wala doon sa ako.
Doon mo na ipasok yung ano. Pantay na. Mamaya mo na ito. Dali. Yung...
Naisip ko yun. Ay, yung punch type. Yung...
Mga patay.
Nung putol nga yung ulo, hindi nakita yung reaction ng mukha. Kaya kasi nakatawa.
Ay, alam ko na, Son.
Kung hinahabol mo yun.
Alam ko na kung ano yung ginagawa nila. Diba, ano ito? SIM 1. Tapos yung SIM,
Palit-palit yun. Magpapalit ka.
patalit-talit mo.
Oo.
Yung SIM 2, ay SIM, dalawa.
Isang window lang. Isang window naman ang gawin.
Ilugtong mo na doon yung ligong ka.
Wala.
Yung video na hanggang doon pala. Watching.
Diyan ka mag-add ng ano, sinto. Saan ka mag-add ng ano? Hindi, huwag dyan. Yan. Dito ka na sa kabila. Sinto. Yan. Doon ka sa kabila mag-add. Yan. Add.
Ibay. Uwi. Sabi na rin.
Thanks for watching mo ng Samsung.
Shade mga
Yung ganun.
Cool. Siya mo yan.
Wala pang text eh.
Hindi naman guys. Hindi naman yan ah.
Dito pala, doon sa unahan yung talapag. Pero gano'n yan.
Ay, oo yun. Hindi ko watching lang ito.
Kasi sabi ko yung
Trigger.
edit mo yung buo. Lapag ng lapag.
Thanks for watching.
Tapos lagyan mo ng buhay na
Nakakilala?
hitbox.
Uy. Okay.
Okay na. May bago pa.
Bago-bago pa ito eh. Kasi ilan mo yung dati. Ini-edit ko na yung dati. Siyang napagod lang ito. Okay.
Dapat may nanonood na. Saan yung isang tablet mo para sa mo oras? Save. Hindi na mag-echo yan. Nababasa din? Eh no, Queen Sparks ko until free time. Wonder Woman. Subok lang yan. Yung isa. Yung Queen. Yung buhay na drop beatbox. Gusto mo mag-real time beatbox? Tayo na tayo sumunod.
Yung sa gusto mong video.
Ano ba yun? Dapat yung mga kore-kore.
Ano ba nakikita ko lang? Ako si Dolphy, ko siya.
Alam kung magulog na mo.
Sakto.
Kanina. Nakikita ko lang yung video. Okay. Lagyan mo na tutugin mo. Thanks for watching.
Yun yan. Thanks for running yung tube. Buhay.
Yung short tape.
Tapos yung chat para doon, yung direct sa
Saan?
mismong
Yan.
ito lalagay.
And then, as you can see over here, the sources section, this is very top. It is covered with the Toy logo, and it's just not very flattering right now. But we're going to fix that. What I have to do is I have to take the text and I have to bump it down a notch. And then now I've got that nice looking fade going in and out. So my text comes in, fades back here. I'll show you this real quick. If you move this over here. So when I put this horizontal speed, you can see the text is going to start to move. But it's not so much that it's ridiculously distracting. So once I have that speed, that same exact thing, let me go to the plus, I'm going to add that this here. And this is going to be, I'm just going to call this a background, so there's not a lot that's going to be happening in this scene. Find that. They're going to bring it in. Now, as you can see right here, the area that I have right here is already taken away. So I saved this image here out of Photoshop as a transparent PNG. Okay, so basically I removed the background layer so that I can see it, so I'd be able to see through this. Now, the other option that I was looking at was we can use the same graphic, but actually put a square on the screen in this area and then grab my picture or my video over here and scale it down and then try to find through to make sure that everything is in the right place, the right size. What I'm going to do instead is I'm going to lock this background so I'm not going to and click on the webcam. And then now you can see when I put this because I have that very place, and then find what that shows. So now we have two scenes. We have the main plane, and then we have the main tear. Okay. So the next thing we want to do is we're going to duplicate that main plane again, and I'm going to call this one chat, or sorry, cam with chat. Okay. Now with this one, we're going to do that same exact thing. We're going to go to plus. I'm going to add an image here, and this is going to be, I'm going to call this the background because there's not a lot that's going to be happening in the scene. So now, as you can see right here, the area that I am. So the next thing we want to do is we're going to duplicate that main plane again. And I'm going to sorry, chat. Now with this one, we're going to do that same exact thing. When we go to plus, we're going to add an image here. And this is going to be to the background. It's not a lot that's going to be happening in the scene. So we're going to find that. They're going to bring it in. Now, as you can see right here, the area that I have right here is already taken away. So I saved this image here out of Photoshop as a transparent PNG. Okay, so basically I removed the background layer so that I can save it so I can use this for this now. The other option that I could add is actually put a square on the screen in this area and then grab my picture to match up. My live streaming page over, I'll show you how to do this. When you go to your live streaming page on YouTube, you click here and then you click on pop out chat. When you do that, they're going to give you a URL here at the top. You want to copy that, and you can close it. And after you close that, you can actually just move that right out of the way. Or close the window or whatever, and it's okay because you have that URL. That's all that you need. So I'm going to do here, I'm going to go to the plus, in my scenes, or in my sources actually, I'm going to go to the plus, I'm going to choose browser source. You're going to use this chat as the identifier. And then you can see here, there's already a URL here for the VS project. We're going to override that with my YouTube chat address, that URL that I just got. Now, because I've already built this for the thing I'm going to, buddy, so I've already built this, I already know that this is going to be way too big. So I'm going to take this down to 520, and I'm going to okay. From there, I hit OK, and then you'll need to chat. Okay, I can leave it like this, and it can be perfectly okay. I mean, just pop it up the screen, I can grab that. Okay, that with my yes, okay, that URL that I just got. Now, because I've already built this, or the thing I'm going to do, I've already built this, I already know that the width of this is going to be way too big. I'm going to take the width of this down to 520, and I'm going to make it to, let's say, 890. Okay. From there, I hit OK, and then you'll see the chat now popping up on the screen. I can grab that, and bring it over here, okay. I can leave it like this, and it'd be perfectly okay. I mean, if it just looks like this, it's right there, it's fine. But if you look from the design standpoint, I have all of this data.
Yes.
Hindi naman pala.
Okay na lahat? Sabi ba?
Hindi pwede naman ilipat yan. Gagawa na lang ulit ng SIM number SIM. Diba? Nagawa mo.
Anong ginawa niya? Tinapi lang niya, di ba? Ano daw ano? Saan yun, ano? Web, ano?
Butit daw.
Web yun eh.
Download mo na.
Review mo.
Papanood mo na bago mo i-upload. Sin? Ano man nalagay niya?
Ayan.
Ayun.
Dito na pag ano. Pag-review.
Browser source. Lagay mo sa. Okay. Tapos,
Pag na ito.
local pala siya. Kagat? Paglabas, ganun na kagat?
Wala tayong meron ata siyang
Pwede ka magpatuloy sa buong video.
Butit, public ko na lang.
Okay.
Pwede naman.
Ba't dito walang URL?
Labas na ako.
Pero consistent ba?
Walang URL.
Kailangan ko lang screenshot ko. Tingnan ko sila.
Chat, di ba? Meron na? Wala pa naman ah.
Chat.
Ha? Ay, pala meron na. Consent. Yun mo.
Ano naman?
Ilan? 520? 520.
Yung mga pinay ko.
950. Yan. Okay.
Okay na.
Ay, lipat mo pala yung yung YouTube chat pala ilagay doon.
Hindi.
Oh, eh wala naman URL eh.
Yan.
Hindi na nakalagay yung URL eh. Diyan may tinatypean siya ng URL eh. Pag okay niya, tingnan mo. Lalabas na yung URL. Wala naman dito eh.
Walang lumabas na.
Delete natin. Browser lang yun.
Easy way.
Group window capture video.
Way.
Text shield.
Ganun. Ganun.
Settings niya. Okay, browser. Chat. Okay.
Ayun.
520. 520. Ayun, may source na.
Ha?
May source na.
Ayun na.
950. Okay.
Son. Thumbnail.
Ayun na yun.
Oh.
Tigipay.
Thumbnail.
Ang lagay sa video na. Nilagay ko sa
Lagay ba natin ang bilis si Maripos agad eh.
Yung utak mo hindi nga pwede bang multitasking mo.
Mag-iisip ka lang ng thumbnail na ano. Fastest way to move over. So,
How to cover any song?
How to cover any song.
How to cover any song?
Fastest
So,
way.
wala so.
Fastest way.
Di, basta how.
Ay, yan yung ulit. Kung tatama. Kasi ikaw nag-isip picture pa eh. Nandiyan na nga eh.
Ano na eh. Eh naman, okay naman.
Any song? How to cover any song?
Kaya natin yung, ay, isang kulay lang.
Hindi, mas buhay marami.
Marami kulay.
How to cover any song?
Dapat yung ano yan eh, may dating eh. ECS. Okay.
Oh,
Yun, ECS way. Cover.
Easiest way to cover any song. Tapos yung title mo, iba yan eh. Iba yung title mo.
Title din cover song mo.
Ha?
Over.
Binaliwala. Uy, serious. Papasok yun sa binaliwala eh.
Tama ba? Spelling is
Tuwa. ECS way.
Ano pa? Yung pala naman dyan, sundan mo lang din yan. Tutorial, di ba? Ito pa yung papagalawin to, kaso wala ka pang na-edit na background picture eh.
Oo nga.
Kaya mag-edit ka pa nun eh.
Pwede?
Na bakante to. Bakante tong ganito.
Oo.
Great, yeah.
Ayun pala yung browser na yun. Kanina di ba naglag tayo kanina ng browser? Wala naman lumalabas.
Lalabas.
Tapos,
Kailangan mag-edit ka pala ng ano.
pinaka-background mo.
Oo, pinaka-background na ganyan.
Ito, kunit to. Pinunit niya, ginawa niya transparent to. Tapos kung anong kulay gusto niya.
Maganda talaga yun. Ano?
Diba?
Easiest way.
Ayun yung ano, ayun yung inaano ko kanina. Gusto mong background ko ay. Ito yung pangalan niyo. Yung pinaka ano mo. Logo mo. Pwede may lagay.
Diyos na naman.
Nakalive pa rin yun. Spot ko na pala. Well, spot ko. Lalabas kayo, boy?
Tatam din ba?
Lalabas kayo, boy?
Dapat ko yun. Pinost na muna.
Pinapload din ha? Oo, hindi ko pala papanood eh. Okay ba?
So, kung ako mag-message na doon,
Ano rin nila kayo? Kung hindi mo sila. Ano rin nila kayo? Tama ka kung hindi sila.
subukan mo mag-message na doon.
Sa, ano ba?
Marami pang boy eh.
Ay, siya.
Hi.
Si Regis.
Ilalabas kaya.
Lalabas yan, lahat ng chat yan.
Oo.
Ha?
Mayroon.
Kulay, tuloy ko lang.
Nakadirect ka sa YouTube yan.
Ha?
Nakadirect ka sa YouTube.
Words.
Yan.
Hindi kita itong ano?
Blue.
Yung blue.
Readable. Anong magandang kulay? Light blue. Light blue.
Orange kami.
Orange. Orange ba ang mga? Light orange. Light orange na.
Saan ba, boy? Ha? Oo na.
Ayun, pinapapagod.
Ano sinasabi nila? Nag-aaral ka. Hindi ko nabasa.
Ayan.
Nagpapakita na. Ano magawa ko na bahay?
Talaga? Ay.
Hello, good morning from Philippines. May kulang by sipol. From Islam po.
Pwede natin.
Hindi pala ako motivator, oh. Hindi pala ako binigyan ng jacket, oh.
Sina? Ikaw?
Oo. Hindi pala ako binigyan ng jacket. Nakadalawang kami na ako. Tulugan na naman yun.
Pero,
Yan.
Dia masuk. Nanti besok. Kau enggak? Nanti besok gimana itu? Besok.
Hindi. Huwag mong huwag mong Oo.
Tama kayo.
Kasi, confusing na yun eh, na makakonfuse na sila. Overall song. Kasi yung song mismo, tatatag yun.
Kita.
Parang nagsumbrero ako nun. Kumukuhan. Ayun. Saan gumawa doon? Thumbnail na lang.
Fix lang.
Pero ayaw tingin sa YouTube. Sige na yun. Nakasabay pula ba?
Iba naman yung dating yun. Dapat pinost na muna natin yung habang i-edit ka lang. Ay, di ba? Panoorin pala nila siya. Hindi niya.
Fix sila. Meron ka, meron mo. Yes.
Save lang.
Bye.
Ang title ba yun? Cover song?
Next.
Ang title?
Cover song.
How to cover a song?
Bukan song lang. Hindi. Pinaliwala ako.
Kaya di, gawa pala tayo lagay tayo ng
Wala song cover.
Blade.
Iba yun, no?
Blade. Open mo nga, Blade. Hindi, ikaw nga mag-type. Social Blade. Ayun na pala, ayun na. Hindi pa ba nakabukas?
Sinyalis na yun, no?
Ay, ako.
Para mayroon ka.
Dito?
Oo. Display ko pa isa.
Bakit pala yung natin?
Yun lang yun. Yun lang yun. URL niya.
Ano lang yan? Parang ipasok mo lang.
Parang nalagay mo.
Bunga natin.
Pwede yan. Pwede yan.
Blink mo nga. Sulat mo mga blink.
Pag-uwi pa lang yan eh.
Bigyan mo na rin. Yan mo na natin i-preview ko natin.
5:20 pa rin.
Five.
Hindi. Sakto lang muna yan. Ako na mag-adjust. Okay.
Tips.
Wala, hindi niya ano yung ano.
Hindi niya na.
Yung URL dapat makuha. Hindi yan ano eh. Hindi yung URL eh. Mahaba naman yung graphics.
Okay lang yan.
Delete mo na. Hindi kailangan URL eh. Delete mo na.
Ay. Siling ko yun. Ayan.
Pahaba dapat yan eh. Pahaba. Yung size niya.
Daming ano ito.
Dami niya dinadagdag no?
Ma,
Hindi, okay na. Okay na ba sa inyo? Okay. Okay na sa inyo?
Hindi, pwede naman yan. Naka-private pa.
Okay na natin.
Outson, ano mo yun?
dito na lang, son.
Ha?
Dito na lang mag-susunod sa SIM 1.
Ano na?
SIM 1.
Ano?
Pwede na yung lipat-lipat ka na.
Oh.
Yung full screen mo na lang to. Nagawa pa ako na ano eh.
Diyan ka na lang mag ano,
Late.
Yan na lang mag-play ko. Hindi na ako pala.
Gusto mo yung suspense na lang. May post na.
Pero ng cellphone. Dito ako.
Hindi kami nakapost eh.
Kaya nagkaroon ng cellphone.
Upload ko na ba yun? Upload ko na?
Panoorin na.
Pwede mo naman eh.
Ha? Okay.
Delete ko na.
Hindi, ilabas ko.
Ha? Hindi yan ano, delete mo ako.
Hindi. Panoorin daw niya doon.
Hindi nga. Kaya nga nakakabuo ko din sa kakaisip nga sa isa lang. Multitasking na lang ako eh. Mahuhus talaga yung ako eh.
Sip ko niya, boy?
Pero kung pala yun na. Wait, pinim pa sa gallery na yun, yung diretso.
Upload na.
Ang gallery? Nag-upload.
Hindi, mas maganda panoorin ang master. Hindi ka gallery. May Google yung hindi nakalalabas ko.
Na-export ko na nga eh.
Oo.
Nandun sa gallery ka.
Hindi, nakahiga lang yan. Hindi yan nahiga ganun sa gallery namin. Sige, gawin mo. Dami ng hasi.
Photos. Saan na yun?
Sa pinakahuli ka.
Oh, pahuli yung ano mo?
Ano ba? Ano ba?
Nalabas mo.
Ano ba ano pa rin? Ito.
Cover ko? Ano yung cover ko?
Ano?
Type.
Okay po.
Palitan mo na rin ako. Pwede ito na
Ano? Ano?
Hindi maganda yung kasi pag sinetch yung ginagawa lalabas.
Oo. Pinaliwala ka eh. Yung cover na yun eh.
Lahat eh.
Ang ino, malapot na.
Wala naiin ako siya.
Hindi ko ba kain? Talaga natin nagkakaroon.
Pero ginagawa mo pa yung pag-ano. Okay.
Pag-play na nga eh. Eh di, isip ko sana na mahaba ang intro.
Ayos yun.
Hindi, may isa din sa susunod sa title.
Tama na.
Ay, parang
Hindi yun.
pinalo.
Nakalagay hindi naman title doon sa
Wala.
ano ba ito?
Ayun sa ito.
Sa ito. So,
Okay lang yun. Kasi
Okay lang yun.
Ayun na, nakita na 1,290. Sa scene 1 na.
Pwede ba split screen zone?
Ha?
Split screen.
Split screen na. Wala na, nakita naman. Ayun na, may chat ka na. Na, yung isa. Ayan, come with chat. Hindi, ayun na yun. May chat na yun sa gilid.
Ito na.
Ayan, para pwede ka mag-type.
Maybe yung gamer. Pag mga gamer, ang gamer.
ito ba yung sa iba?
Hindi naman siguro
Hindi ko
ma-copyright pag tinanggal ko yung signal.
Or dito.
Hindi ka naman nakalive? Nakalive ka?
Nakalive yan?
Ay, hindi ka naman nanonood. Ako lang nanonood.
Nakikita na lang yung mga sa
Oo, sige, okay din.
Tagalin na.
So what I'm going to do here is I'm going to go and I'm going to grab the image that I need, like a product. So what I'm going to do here is I'm going to go and I'm going to grab the image that I need.
Ito na naman.
And then with this, you can see I'm kind of, covered up there or whatever, but the graphic over here is where you would put, there we go, is where you would put, so let's say that I'm talking here in the main plane, and then I'm going to say something about, whatever it is I'm talking about, and I'm going to click on this, and you can set this up. You can set up a bunch of these, so you can just rotate through them as you're talking about things, or when you want to, you can go to the cam chat and things like
Eh,
that.
magpapalit-palit ka lang.
Now that we have this in place,
Oh,
I'm going to
palit-palit
set
ka
the
lang.
whole thing up to really make it pro. I'm sure you've seen the news where, they're talking about something and then they transition.
Tama nga yung
They
signal.
have a logo or some type of graphic that goes up on the screen and actually make that transition to happen and make it kind of smooth and pro looking.
So mag-add ako
Well, that's
ng
what we're
ano.
gonna do. So what we're gonna do for that is I'm going to click on Studio, and that's gonna split the screen. So if you're not familiar with OBS right now, you're not familiar with OBS yet, basically how this works is over on this side of the screen, the one that has the ticker on it right now, this side of the screen is basically a staging area, and then the other side of the screen where we have the split screen, that is actually what would be live that your viewers would be seeing right now.
Sa
So if
kabila
you're
pala.
recording something in OBS, or if you're actually streaming in OBS, the one over on the right where the split screen is right now, that is your actual live area. That's what's actually being on your left. That is your staging area where you actually build everything and you get it ready to go over. So what we're going to do here is we're going to add that transition so that we can really make it smooth. So here I'm going to go over the scene transitions. I'm going to hit plus, and then I'm going to select Stinger. Now here I'm going to do icon transition. The option to go find it, I'm going to go find it. It's called the TV icon transition. And then for these other options, I'm going to put these on the default to hear the transition. If you have audio in yours, like I do with mine, if you're wanting to actually hear that transition, what you do is you just click on this, and you would go down to monitor only with mute output. Okay? And then as you're playing, if you're doing your stream, you have headphones in, and you want to be a part of the show in terms of listening to what's going on, that gives you the ability to do it. So I'm going to hit OK. Now, this is where this gets cool. I'm going to go up here to the quick transitions. I'm going to hit the plus sign. I'm going to hit icon transition. And then now that icon transition's in there. So how this works, let's say that I want to transition from this split screen over here to the ticker version that's over here. Then I can click on this icon transition. and then it does that for me while still keeping everything looking cool for the viewer. So basically, instead of making it a hard cut like this every time that I do the transition or fade, then I can hit that icon transition and actually take it to a different segment. So that's really cool, where you can say, okay, well, I want to use this to transition me in between segments. You can set up different graphics if you change, the segment that you're trying to produce. Now, what we're going to do is we're going to take this up another notch, and we're going to add another option here to slide. And I'm going to call this one down. You can do up, down, left, right. And then here I'm just going to make this down. And you can also you can add them up here.
Ayun, sa video. Parang na po eh. Hindi ko na nasa sige. Nakakalusin tayo sa video. Yung ba? Ayun lang sige kaya. Ayun, ito ba ng pagkakay? Sige yan. Wala ba? Ano talaga yung nasa lyrics kailangan sa tuwa ng bangsa para mo lang yun. Ano talaga? Ano ba yung ano ba meron sila dito na hindi meron tayo. Dami ka na yung ba? Hindi ko naisip na lang buti na mahagit na.
Yung nga boy, walang mic boy. Kaya hindi niya maintindihan. Hindi niya
Bakit sa usapan eh.
nag-usapan.
Kaya isa na nagsasabi niya, wala pa. Ano yun? Impacto yun.
Ano ba? Wala halin mo lang hindi isip sa pang-alamat kaibigan o pagtuloy lang. Ayun lang. Sige, kaya yan mga bagus-bagus. Ayun lang. Sige, kaya yan mga bagus.
Si Bols, sabi nga, ito yan sa unang boy. Ano ba yan eh? Nakabilis ko yan. O, tapos sabi ko sa grupo dito. Tapos nawala yan.
Lagi. Natala. Ito, natali mo makakatuwa.
Natali mo?
Yan, natali mo. Ibig sabihin na niya. Ito hindi yung
Slow yan. Ano nga yan? Slow yan.
ano ba meron ko yan? Ito ang ano yan eh. Ano yan eh. Tapos nilalataan mo yan. Oo na. Yun lang yan. Wala lang preview.
Kasi magbabasa ka lang.
Progress lang yan.
Ito mga comment na. Very kung hopefully don't mind me watching. Yung ba ano? Gusto niya panoorin ko siya. Study.
Okay yan. Okay siya.
Okay siya.
Ayan, ayan mo. Ayan, ayan.
Kaya ano ba? Kala ko 3 DM isa, pero hindi. Bakit pa rin sa 6 DM?
Kaya nga dalawa eh.
Isa sa sila. Tinanong.
Magising lang yan.
Hindi ba dumatel ito?
Tawag na natin ng mga boy.
Yan na.
Dalawa sa lahat. Searchable na yung pangalan mo po yun. Dati hindi mo search. No?
Wala rin pa.
Parang sa akin, yung Dodo game. Hindi ma-search yun.
Kailangan ng buhay mo.
Ang lagi search kasi ay searchable na dyan. Nag-a-apply mo.
Umpisa na yun.
Dodo viewer, naging Dodo TikTok. Naging Dodo TikTok.
Dito. Hindi pa naman tinagamit sila ngayon. Isa ako, magana sila. Views. Wow. Pati-pati. Pero akong ginawin na ng robots, hindi ako sa video.
Dapat pala, pagka mag-insert ka ng mga video, hindi ka muna mag-extra ng sound. Doon na iwala, doon na yung sound. Tapos save ulit. Pagka save ulit, yung sinave mo yung pinigit mo para hindi siya
Hindi kasi magdadalaw.
Oo.
Ano ba dapat?
Ano talaga? May iba na ito dun. Hindi yung isa ang ilit na save mo na, tapos save mo na, ulit.
Oo. Para
Ay, pasok mo sa akin. Upload ko na sa YouTube. Ay, ito ba? Ito nga upload. Okay. Nakaano yan. Ay, sa bagay. Sa YouTube na pala sa YouTube. Sa YouTube na magbibigay naman.
hindi na ba yun? Yun. Okay.
Pag mahina ang mic, pwede ba na-edit yan yung upload mo? Yung subtitle. Kung di English na gano'n. Kung may mga nag-provide, Bisaya, ini-English na parang yung gano'n.
Ang lalagyan na sa title automatic yun.
Hindi, i-edit mo din.
Ay, edit ko yun.
Oo.
Ha?
Parang ano. Pero kahit edit ano yun, matutuwa to. Dun sa una. Kasi hindi naman yung pinag-uusapan na nakapokus eh.
Not sure.
Talagyan mo naman sa title eh. Kung gusto mo international, English. Pero kung gusto mo maintindihan na Tagalog. Kasi mahina nga yung lagi yan. Kaya nga dapat naglalapit.
Hindi na pagkakalin.
Yes, yes, yes. Oh, tapos copy ko natin. Tapos mag-open ka ng browser. Dito sa OBS.
Kasi papasok pala dito yun.
Ha?
Papasok pala dito yun. Sa... Papasok pala dito. Ano? I-delete mo yun, tapos ipasok mo pala dito. Paste mo. Yung nakuha natin doon kanina. So, let me see.
Meron pa isa? Bukod sa URL?
I-paste mo pala dyan yung URL nila.
Hindi, na-paste na dun sa taas URL. Ano pa yan? Saan niya kinuha yan?
Yung pa rin kanina. Sa CSS.
Yung saan niya kinuha. Iba ito yung URL, ito yung URL sa taas.
Para makapag-check ka siguro dito yan.
So what I have to do for that is I have to put in a CSS code, which I have in a notepad here, and I'll actually put this as a resource link down in the description below. But I have some CSS code that I'm going to drop into this chat option right here. So I'm going to right click on the chat, I'm going to hit properties, I'm going to delete this in the CSS area right here, and then I'm going to paste in all of this code right here. Again, I'm going to have a resource link to this down in the description, so you'll be able to get this same exact code down in the description if you want this. Then I'm going to hit OK, and then you'll see that it made my text bigger, and it also took away that background. So now it's not as distracting. It's still distracting, especially when it's all moving around, but it's not as distracting. So what we've done there is now we have this chat area so that people that are watching can see their chat come up on the screen. Right? So it's going to click on something there, and then that fills that box out. And you can see right there, as you can see, you can see this that I put down there. It completely fills that box out and makes everything look nice and clear. Now to be picky, I would put this down here. Okay, a little bit too tight up here. So I would bring it down. Maybe bring it on a little bit might be worse when you're making your graphics for your live stream. So now we have three chats. Now we have three scenes. I mean, in here we have the main link, we have the main ticker, and then we also have this, which is our with chat. So we're starting to create, a nice production here, right? Like this is looking really professional. So great. Everything is nice and organized and really easy to follow what's going on. And a really awesome thing about this is down here in the sources part, you don't have to
Transparent
file of stuff down there, right? You can just switch it as you need it instead of having a
I-download mo yan.
Para sa ano?
Para maganda rin yan sa CSS. I-download mo yan.
So this makes it so much easier. So the next thing I'm going to do is I'm going to copy the main link again. And this one is going to be split screen. Now this comes in really
Yun lang yung i-download mo.
if
Chat.
you are a business owner and you want to have your screen and then you
Sana yun,
also
hanapin mo
have
yun.
something
Tapos
that
open mo dyan. Itong YouTube na to. Open mo dyan,
you
tapos
can have
i-download.
like a product that you're talking about. You can have bullet points of what it is you're talking about while
Tapos
keeping
pag
yourself
na-download mo
secret
sa
in this part.
doon mo
The base thing you see here is I created that split screen scene. And as you can see in the sources here, the only thing again that we're starting with is the webcam by itself. So what I'm going to do here is I'm going to go, I'm going to grab this.
Tabi mo na. Uy. Tabi mo na.
Maganda yun, di ba? Schedule ka tayo. Lahat yata tayo dito. Nakita mo? Tayo.
Yun ang problema.
Lum!
Nakarain.
Hindi ako nagputo.
Hindi. Iyon,
Pumuntahan ka? Ha? Saan?
try mo yun.
Pinatay ko yan ni Bert. Saan?
Di pa nilagyan mo yun, ano?
Gano'n ba? Konti na lang yan eh. Konti na lang. Ha?
Dinunod mo na ba ay pinitandit mo na?
Show you how to make your live streams look awesome, and we're starting right now. What is going on? My name is Nick. Welcome to another video. If this is your first time here and you want to learn how to grow your channel, make videos, and all types of other YouTube related stuff, start now by subscribing and clicking the bell so you don't miss anything. You're gonna love this. I'm not gonna waste any time. Let's go to the computer. Okay, so now that we're at the computer, I'm going to show you how to take a boring looking scene like this and make it into something like this where you can have chat on it, to where you can do like video transitions and things like that. You can also do it to where you add tickers, to where you have like a little sidebar to where you're doing like a split screen, and you can transfer everything back and forth. Super easy, and it can be cool with the transitions as well. Of course, you wouldn't want to use transitions as heavy as I just did, but I'm just showing you the example of what it is that I'm going to be showing you. So the first thing that we need to do in order to get all of this stuff rolling is we need to go up to the scene selection or scene collection and select new, and it's going to blank everything out. As soon as I do this, it's going to remove my webcam, so I'm going to add that in as well and show you how to do that also. So for this, I'm just going to call this TV demo. And as you can see, it took away my webcam, so I'm going to go ahead and add that by adding a capture device. I'm just going to call that. Get us taken care of there. Now, as you can see, when it first came on, it's really zoomed in and blown up. And on yours, you see it, and it comes in like this. All you have to do to fix that is you just change the resolution down here to custom, and then you change it to the actual frame size that you're going to be going out at. In my case, it's 1920 by 1080. And then I hit OK, and then as you can see, it brings everything, you know, to the normal ratio. So once I have that in place, this is going to be my blank starting point. So once I have that in place, I'm going to go down to my scenes down here in the bottom left-hand side of the screen, and I'm going to choose rename. And then for this one, I'm just going to change this to main plane. And then that tells me anytime I click on this, anytime I transition to this, no matter what, it's just going to be a plain thing that's happening, just me right here on the screen. So the next thing that I want to do is I want to build onto this. So I'm going to duplicate it here. I'm going to right click on main plane. I'm going to hit duplicate. And then I'm going to do main with a ticker. And then what that gives me the ability to do is add additional sources over here. So I have one scene here that nothing else is going to be on. And then this one here is going to be all of the ticker graphics to make the actual ticker that goes along the bottom of the screen. So here I'm going to click plus. I'm going to go to image. I'm going to do ticker BG for ticker background. And when I do that, it's going to ask me where the file is. So here I'm going to click on ticker BG, hit OK. And then there you can see this graphic that is now showing up at the bottom of my screen. Now, how this is going to work is it's going to be this graphic, and then I'm going to have a layer of text. And then after that layer of text, then I'm going to have a covering graphic as well. So the next thing that I'm going to do is I'm going to hit plus, and then I'm going to add that covering graphic right now. So I'm going to do ticker top, and I'm going to grab this. Now, as you can see right here, when I pull this in, if you look at this little area right here, you can see it's transparent. Okay, so basically what's happening here is this is going to allow the text to show up to appear behind this and then disappear into this side as well while keeping the TubeBuddy logo in there. So I'm going to hit OK. Now with this, just so you know what's going on, is all of this stuff that I'm showing you right now, I actually built this for TubeBuddy for the stream that I do there. So if you want to learn even more YouTube stuff, I'm going to put a link to the TubeBuddy channel so you can definitely head over to them, because me and other YouTube experts are over there, you know, sharing information to help you grow your channels as well. So the next thing that we want to do is I'm going to actually click on the little lock icon for all three of these. And the reason I'm doing that is because I'm going to have to move the text around once I get it in here. So if I have these locked, then I can click anywhere on the screen, move anything that I want, and nothing is going to be selected or moved. So it's just kind of like a fail-safe. Click on plus, and then I'm going to go to text. And then here, I'm just going to make sure that says text. And then here, I'm going to put in just anything for the sake of the demo. And then once I have what it is that I'm going to be saying in the text, you can see it right up here at the top. You can see it's kind of small, but what I'm going to do is I'm going to go into select font, and in this case, I'm actually going to find the font that I was using. This is a really cool thing about OBS, is it lets you select different fonts, so you can make sure that, you know, things are matching up with your branding and all of that. So I'm going to select a different font, I'm going to hit OK, and then I'm going to click OK on this as well. Once I have that in place, then I can grab the text and I can bring it down. Now, as you can see, it's really small right now, so on a mobile device, this would be pretty much impossible to read. So I'm going to grab one of these corners, and I'm just going to start moving it. And as you can see, that's going to scale that text up and make it a little bit bigger and a little bit easier to read. From there, I'm going to just bring it down the screen. And then because I have this selected, I can just tap on the arrow buttons to kind of fine-tune it as far as getting it into the right place that I want it to be. And then, as you can see over here in the sources section, this is at the very top, and it's covering up the TubeBuddy logo, and it's just not very flattering right now. So in order to fix that, what I have to do is I have to take the text and I have to bump it down a notch. And then now I've got that nice looking fade going in and out. So my text comes in, fades back out, the logo's still there, and everything still looks nice, neat, and clean. So what I'm going to do now is I need to make that text move. So I'm going to right click, and I'm going to go to filters. Here I'm going to click on the plus sign, and then I'm going to click on scroll. And then here, I want to show you this real quick. Let me move this over to here. So when I move this horizontal speed, you can see the text is going to start to move. Now, I can make it really fast to where, you know, people are reading it really fast and all that, or I can slow it down, make it something a little bit more reasonable. In this case, I'm going to go with like a 31. That's fine. So it's still coming along. It's still moving along, but it's not so much that it's ridiculously distracting. So once I have that speed, I'm going to hit close. And then as you can see, the ticker is going to be flowing along there nicely during any time that I want that to show. So now we have two scenes. We have the main plane, and then we have the main ticker, okay? So the next thing that we want to do is we're going to duplicate that main plane again, and I'm going to call this one cam with chat, okay? Now with this one, we're going to do that same exact thing, where I'm going to go to the plus, and I'm going to add an image here, and this is going to be, I'm just going to call this one background because there's not a lot that's going to be happening in this scene. So I'm going to find that, and I'm going to bring it in. Now, as you can see right here, the area that I have right here, it's already taken away. So I saved this image here out of Photoshop as a transparent PNG. Okay, so basically I removed the background layer so that I could save it so I'd be able to see through this. Now, another option that I would have had was to make the same graphic, but actually put a square on the screen in this area, and then grab my picture or my video image there and scale it down and try to fine tune it to make sure that everything is in the right place and the right size. But what I'm going to do instead is I'm going to lock this background, so I'm not clicking on it. I'm going to click on the webcam, and then now you can see when I move this, because I have that area transparent, it doesn't have to be perfect. I can just move it in, kind of stick it in place, and then fine-tune it a little bit with my arrow keys, and then there we go. I don't have to spend a ton of time sitting there trying to make everything match up. And in addition to that, I also get a little bit of a drop shadow over here to kind of give it a little bit of an additional look, so to speak. Now, the next thing that we want to do is something that I get asked about a ton, and that is showing the chat on the screen, because we have to put it in this little area over here so that viewers can see the live chat for this particular scene when we show this. So what I'm going to do here is I'm going to bring my live streaming page over. I'm going to show you how to do this. When you go to your live streaming page on YouTube, you click here, and then you click on Pop Out Chat. When you do that, they're going to give you a URL up here at the top. You want to copy that, and then you can close it. And then after you close that, you can actually just move that right out of the way or close the window or whatever, and it's okay because you have that URL. That's all that you need. So what I'm going to do here is I'm going to go down to plus, in my scenes, or in my sources, actually, I'm going to go down to plus, I'm going to choose browser source. Here I'm going to make this chat as the identifier. And then you can see here there's already a URL here going to OBS project, but I'm going to override that with my YouTube chat, okay? That URL that I just got. Now, because I've already built this for, you know, the thing that I'm doing with TubeBuddy, so I've already built this, I already know that the width of this is going to be way too big. So I'm going to take the width of this down to 520, and I'm going to take the height to, let's say, let's do 890, okay? From there, I'm going to hit OK, and then you'll see the chat is now popping up on the screen. I just grab that, and I bring it over here and get it into place, okay? I could leave it like this, and it would be perfectly okay. I mean, if it just looks like this and you have the white on there, it's fine. But if you look at this from a design standpoint, I have all of these dark elements. I'm wanting people to focus on the TubeBuddy logo down there, which, by the way, if you don't have TubeBuddy installed yet, I've got a link to that in the description. But I want to draw people's attention to the TubeBuddy logo, and I want them looking at my screen. I want them looking at the chat as well, but I don't want them to be overwhelmed and distracted by what's going on in the chat. So what I have to do for that is I have to put in a CSS code, which I have in a notepad here, and I'll actually put this as a resource link down in the description below. But I have a some CSS code that I'm going to drop into this chat option right here. So I'm going to right-click on chat, I'm going to hit properties, and I'm going to delete this in the CSS area right here, and then I'm going to paste in all of this code right here. And again, I'm going to have a resource link to this down in the description, so you'll be able to get this same exact code down in that description if you want this. And then I'm going to hit OK, and then you'll see that it made my text bigger, and it also took away that background, so now it's not as distracting. It's still distracting, especially when it's all moving around, but it's not as distracting. So what we've done there is now we have this chat area so that people that are watching can see their chat come up on the screen, right? So I'm just going to click on something there, and then that fills that box out, and you can see right there, as you can see, you know, can you see this that I put down there? It completely fills that box out and makes everything look nice and clear. Now, to be picky, I would want to scoot this down here. So I would bring it down to something like that, maybe bring up the bottom a little bit, but you can fine-tune yours when you're making your graphics for your live stream. So now we have 3 chats. Now we have 3 scenes, in here. We have the main plane, we have the main ticker, and then we also have this, which is our cam with chat. So we're starting to create, you know, a nice production here, right? Like, this is looking really professional. It's looking great. Everything is nice and organized, you know, real easy to follow what's going on. And a really awesome thing about this is down here in the sources part, you don't have just a humongous pile of stuff down there, right? You can just switch it as you need it instead of having a bunch of things that you have to sort through in order to make these same things happen. And you don't have to drag things around all the time and resize the frame and all of that. So this makes it so much easier. So the next thing I'm going to do is I'm going to copy the main plane again. And this one is going to be split screen. Now, this comes in really cool if you are a gamer or if you are a business owner and you want to have your screen and then you also want to have something happening on the side over here to where you can have like your social media information, or you can have like a product that you're talking about, or you can have bullet points of what it is you're talking about while keeping yourself on the screen. This part is really cool. So what I'm going to do here is I created that split screen scene, and as you can see in the sources here, the only thing again that we're starting with is just the webcam by itself. So what I'm going to do here is I'm going to go and I'm going to grab the image that I made. And then with this, you can see I'm kind of, you know, covered up there or whatever, but the graphic over here is where you would put, there we go, is where you would put the, you know, any additional information that you have. But what you would do in this case with the webcam is I'm going to lock that. And then with the webcam, I can just take this, drag it over, just like this. And then there we go, I'm nice and centered. So let's say that I'm talking here in the main plane, and then I want to say something about, you know, whatever it is I'm talking about, then I would click on this, and you can set this up. You can set up a bunch of these so you can just rotate through them as you're talking about things. Or when you want to, you can go to the cam chat and things like that. So now that we have this in place, I want to level this whole thing up to really make it pro. I'm sure you've seen the news where, you know, they're talking about something and then they transition into something else, and then they have like a logo or some type of graphic that comes up on the screen to actually make that transition to happen and make it kind of smooth and pro looking. Well, that's what we're going to do. So what we're going to do for that is I'm going to click on studio mode over here. And that's going to split the screen. So if you're not familiar with OBS right now, if you're not familiar with OBS yet, basically how this works is over on this side of the screen, the one that has the ticker on it right now, this side of the screen is basically a staging area. And then the other side of the screen where we have the split screen, that is actually what would be live that your viewers would be seeing right now. So if you're recording something in OBS or if you're actually streaming in OBS, the one over on the right where the split screen is right now, that is your actual live area. That's what's actually being streamed or recorded. And over on your left, that is your staging area where you actually build everything and you get it ready to go over. So what we're going to do here is we're going to add that transition so that we can really make this look cool. So here I'm going to go over to the scene transitions. I'm going to hit plus, and then I'm going to select Stinger. Now here I'm going to do icon transition. I'm going to hit OK. It's going to give me the option to go find it, and I'm going to go find it. It's called the TB icon transition. TB stands for tube button. And then for these other options, I'm going to leave these on the default, but if you are wanting to hear the transition, if you have audio in yours like I do with mine, and you're wanting to actually hear that transition, what you would do is you would just click on this, and then you would go down to monitor only with mute output, okay? And then as you're playing it, if you're doing your stream, you have headphones in and you want to, you know, be a part of the show in terms of listening to what's going on, and that gives you the ability to do it. So I'm going to hit OK. Now, this is where this gets cool. I'm going to go up here to the quick transition. I'm going to hit the plus sign. I'm going to hit icon transition. And then now that icon transition's in there. So how this works, let's say that I want to transition from this split screen over here to the ticker version that's over here, then I can click on this icon transition, and then it does that for me while still keeping everything looking cool for the viewers. So basically, instead of making it a hard cut like this every time that I do the transition or a fade, then I can hit that icon transition and actually take it to a different segment. So that's really cool, where you can say, okay, well, I want to use this to transition me in between segments. You can set up different graphics that you change, you know, for each thing in between each different segment that you're trying to produce. Now, what we're going to do is we're going to take this up another notch, and we're going to add another option here to slide. And I'm just going to call this one down. You can do up, down, left, or right. And then here I'm just going to make this down. And you can also add these up here as well to the quick transitions. Any quick transitions that you want, you can add them up here. This is especially handy for graphics. But now if I want to transition in between something, I can just hit down like that, and then it will take me, you know, into anything it is that I'm wanting it to take me into. But if you really want to do this in like a really cool way, what you can do is, I'm going to go into my settings here. I'm going to show you something. Under the General tab, if I scroll down, you're going to see this option right here for studio mode, transition to scene when double clicked, okay? I have that selected, and I'm going to show you why. The reason that's selected is because, let's say that I do a down transition, okay? If I double click these now, it's going to automatically just send it over, and it's going to send it over with that down transition. Same thing would happen if you wanted to do a fade, right? You see how it just fades it all around? And the same thing happens if I want to do the icon transition. So let's say that I'm sitting here and I'm talking about something for a while, and then I want to...
Enggak.
Gimana mau bawa kembali itu?
Bago umakit sa akin. Kung pinatay, ano, pero
Pwede naman parang ganyan na lang sir, naka full screen. Tapos dito na yung palit-palit.
ganyan.
Sa yung mga ano,
Open mo lang yung ano doon.
sa yung mga shortcut na ano,
Kaya magta-type ka rin pala. Kailangan doon.
yung shortcut na mga tawag. Yan. Yan sabi mo. Yung mga tawag.
Oo, yan. Okay.
Yan. Lagyan mo lang.
Hindi ko pa nga napag-aralan. Hindi naman ako nag-live tayo dyan. Hindi pa ako magamit dyan.
Magla-live yan, ano gaming is daw. Maglalaban na kayo ng
Tinanong ko lang si Lakay na kung paano paganahin. Yun lang yung main purpose paano paganahin. Yung ibang effects. Nag-tutorial na lang yun.
dapat nag-tutorial ka nito? Tutorial video.
Hindi pa ako nakakado. Natawa na lang sa COVID. Wala pa. Sabay ko na. Atin na naman ito. Isang araw, hindi na akong premeres. Ay, ito na dito na. Ay!
Ibay.
Lakay, sigurado may indod na naman yun si ano. With Sparks.
Butike.
Pag napanood niya yung video, ikaw ang bida eh.
Buset.
Hindi mo ba napanood?
Saan? Ayun kumakain?
Ha?
Butike. Ako palang bida doon. Lalagay pa mo ng subo doon.
Pero ano mo?
Pag monetization po, yung kita nun sa'yo pupunta.
Ayun no, pwede na pala. Mas maganda. Kaso yung yung background yung kulay itim eh. Yung background niya yung itim. Ayan. Bukas naman.
Bilis ng production, no? Lakay. Isang araw lang. Production na. Balang pang ano, tutukuba. Hindi pa kumuha ng gulong sa'yo. Ay!
Mas may yosi dun sa...
Sumama na doon sa drawer eh.
Ako mo ko, hindi naman ang mga pag-ibig ko.
Nagawin ko ba kami?
Doon sa ano?
Sa TV. Sa sport. Oo.
PS4, nakalabas na yung PS4 mo doon?
Oo.
Hindi nga wala yan. Ito, gawin lang. Ito mo ako. Mga nakaready niyo, mga ball pay.
Mga wala?
Sa siyang ibangga mo,
Ay, kailangan na lang. Ay!
Yung dati mo.
Buhay na, mukhang buhay na. Picture na ng kulang dyan. Patay, background. Picture na ng kulang, background.
Ito.
Buhay na. Buhay na yung green yan, naka-green.
Agree yan?
Oo. Green na yan. Background.
Search ko na, saan ang bibili?
Kung pa isa-isa lang.
Sa extreme yard nga, pwede ka mag-ganon?
Ah.
Yung green. Yung green background.
Yan din naman.
Ito rin.
Kung basta may green background. Pero nga, hindi mo mapapalaki ang
Camera na.
Oo. Kasi nga, ang ganda na. Kaya na. Next na. Camera. Walang lumabas, gagamitin yung tag mo.
Ha?
Walang lumabas
Na.
para sa tag mo. Paggamit na...
Ay, hindi ko pa na-search. Subukan mo. I-search ko naman.
Ano, wala pa rin nadami yung juice.
Ay, ayan, may bago. May bago tayong dating, si Madam. Madam Joanne Bonard. Hello po. Ayan, mega shoutout sa iyo, Madam. Gusto niyo bang gumigit, boy? Gusto niyo pa mag, isda? Tutulog na? Ayan, Madam.
Mapapawi rin naman. Sabagay, laki rin yung nadagdag sa akin. Insect. Gabi. Tapos.
Gana wala to.
Dalawa. Wala.
Ano?
Dalawa. Wala.
Wala.
Hindi mo sinabihan siya, no? Alay? Hindi mo sinabihan.
Sila.
Pangga mo. Na legit. Kung pinag-hinalaan niya ako kasi niya. Sino ba yun? Sino ba yung sinasabi niya? Na kilala niya. Pinag-hinalaan niya na iba. Ako nga, sabi niya, parang kilala kita.
Parang
Parehas.
na. Sino ba yung sinasabi niya? Si ano yun? Ay, yung picture sa ano? Yung profile, ay background pala.
Oo nga.
Si Jason din yun.
Jason din yan?
Jason Droma.
Parehas? Parehas ba?
Oo.
Yung ano po nakapalala?
Yung background. Ay, background pala. Photo.
Utak din?
Ha?
Utak din? Hindi.
Hindi, background.
Pinaka-background niya.
Background sa
Parehas.
profile
May
mo.
effect sa taas, baba.
Hindi mo.
Ay, ano?
Background photo.
Art, ano?
Banner.
Banner.
Oo.
Yung banner, parehas. Free lang kasi yun eh.
Oo.
Gumawa ka ba sa'yo? Sarili mo? Nag-edit ka na sarili mo?
Hindi nag-rapper
Walang picture lang yun.
Pero pag nag-chroma key ka, hindi ka pala yung kaya ng kulay. Basta yung yan na ilaw. Dito to yan. Dito to yan. Ewan ko. Chroma. 356 chroma.
Chroma.
Yun ah. Yung pala, pili pala ako umalis ka eh.
Patay mo yung camera mo.
So,
Nag-edit pa. Ilan na sa'yo? Ilan na?
Doon sa Roma boy.
Yung saan ito? Bakit yung nagagad? Hindi po naman kayo. Ako naman ang mag-aaral
Hindi naman lumingit na ano? Ako nag-web. Ikaw lang operator kasi yung lalo lang.
Oo, ilan ang baba ko eh. Kita nila. Kaya ako nagdalawa.
Punta niyo po bang ano? Per-chat.
Ang iba pa natin yung
Hindi nga, iba ang operator, iba yung naglalaro. Kung saan ako naglalaro eh, kung mag-operate.
dito pala siya kumukuha ng background so, no?
Transparent.
Doon tayo mamigil. Mas mabilis doon. No? Okay, meron.
Kailangan yung transparent.
Mamigil na.
Saan?
Kung gusto mong background yan, na mag-green ka. Mag-green background ka. Kung gusto mo talaga sa likod yan.
Pero yung ibang email na channel ko yun,
Yung ini-edit niyang picture doon para lumabas yung ano, camera. Kasi mapapatungan yung camera mo doon pag naglagay ka ng ano.
Oo. Tulungan na.
Matagal ka yan, marami ka yan, marami ka na yan. Marami ka yan. Ano yung lang ka?
Kain ka na, kain pa nung. Kain ka pa nung. Kain ka na saan? Ayan. Tulungan na.
Tapos pag magpunta tayo, magkaroon ng content.
Let's go and try to find. We'll go back up here and try to bring this to the go. There's an idea how it would work. So we're gonna grab this one, right? What you can do is click re-download. Whatever we're going to do, let's go right click and then click save image as. A side note over here, make sure you look at the license area here. It says editorial use only. So if you're not doing it for educational purposes like I'm using right now to create this tutorial, then make sure it's approved to be used in any other way. If you do it, like I said, fair use manner, you're fine, because educational, you can use the copyright.
Ano ba yun? Hindi ko ba yung mga 6 seconds usapan eh.
Hindi rin ang din.
Years storage, yung back niya.
Isa na yun.
Ano subscribers ko? Pero yung bilang subscribers, obviously ito, 600K.
Iba yan. Ano? Ito tayo mo, nagsunod ko. Okay. Ay. Wait.
So, magagawa na ito si Pinda. Dahil sa grupo. Dati yung sila nila ang ginawa. Nababasa ko yun. Akala ko ng powder po din. Paano yung powder yung memory eh? Ba?
Paano yung powder sa atin? Ito ganda. Pero dahil Phoenix, marunong. Bihira lang may bali. May tips ka sa akin. Sa dito, uso na lang.
Kaya ito. Good ba?
Malamig lang mo.
Sa balak mo. Kaya may sabi ba yung mga pagpapakapit?
Ang mga pinapagiging mga reklamo. Kasi ito na sabi mo. Bakit yung maksud? Kahit mga magagamit ko. TV lang. Kaya na nakatawag na sa atin.
Ito may fire system ba?
Meron ka ba hindi sila
May voting nga dito diba sa no?
yung dito yung mga polis. At ang dito dito. Hindi parang pwedeng magbayad ng pera. Tumutubang. Dito isa. Dito mga ba? Dito yung regulation. Dito yung baso.
Kaya sa tubig mo, yeah, medyo sa tubig.
Yung mga dito bigayan. Ang tama. Nakatulong ako ng pagsulito. Nakatulong ka rin yung hindi na isa
Kasi na tayo.
Pwede sila kumuha.